Dear children, we are now on lecture 6 of our lesson aldehyde ketones and carboxylic acid. We have done in lecture 5 the chemical properties of aldehydes ketones. It was started in the lecture 5, and we did nucleophilic addition reaction followed with nucleophilic addition and elimination reaction. So now what we have to do in the previous one, the chemical properties as we have discussed is the chemical properties are divided into 5 categories. The one that we have done in lecture 5, that is the nucleophilic addition reaction followed with elimination reaction. Then now in this lecture what we have to do is we have to do the reduction reaction, that is the number 2 heading, and the number 3, that is the oxidation reaction. These 2 headings we have to complete in this lecture, and in the next one we will be doing the 4th and 5th heading. So the 4th, that is related to alpha hydrogen, and 5th, that is the other important reaction we will be doing in the next lecture. So reduction and oxidation reaction, which are the main part of our this lecture, is first reduction of aldehydes and ketones, reduction of carbonyl compound. In lesson alcohol, phenols and ethers, what we have done in lesson 2, that is alcohol, phenol and ether, that if aldehydes are reduced, RCHO are reduced, then they forms 1 degree alcohol, that is RCH2OH. But if ketones are reduced, then they results in formation of 2 degree alcohol. The general reduction results in formation of 1 degree and 2 degree alcohols if we are using. Aldehyde gives us 1 degree and ketone gives us 2 degree alcohol. Now the reagent that are mainly specified here are, the main reagent that are used for reduction are NaBH4, then LiAlH4, or we can also use the catalytic hydrogenation. Catalytic hydrogenation, we all know that these are also very important in the addition of hydrogen on alcohols, in formation of alcohols also. But the other reduction that can be carried on aldehydes and ketones are that they can be reduced totally to hydrocarbon. But the same number of hydrocarbon can be obtained if we are following the reduction of aldehydes and ketones. So it is the condition which matters, that what we are getting alcohols or we are getting the hydrocarbons. So when we are on the topic reduction of hydrocarbons, there are 2 very important name reactions. One is the Clemmensen reduction and the other is the Wolff-Kishner reduction. So first we will be doing the Clemmensen reduction. So Clemmensen reduction is carbonyl group when it is treated with zinc and HCl, zinc, mercury and HCl, that is zinc amalgam. Then the reduction takes place and the water is removed. So this can be aldehyde, this can be ketone, but the product that we are getting is hydrocarbon of the same number of carbon atoms. This can be any of the carbonyl group. It can be aldehyde, it can be ketone. So let us see one example, that if we have taken the ketone, okay, if we have taken the ketone and the conditions are provided of zinc and HCl, zinc amalgam and HCl, then we will be getting the hydrocarbon and water. Then we will see the example of ethanol. Ethanol on reduction in presence of zinc, mercury and HCl gives us ethane. What about propanone? Propanone on reduction in presence of zinc, mercury and HCl will be giving us propane. So these reactions are very helpful when we have to prepare alkane of the same number of carbon atoms. So this was about the Clemmensen reduction. That is the double bond O is replaced by hydrogen. The second reduction is Wolff-Kishner reduction. This is also very important name reaction. What happened in this name reaction? We take the carbonyl group. Let us first represent how it works. We take the carbonyl group and add hydrazine to it. We have done the hydrazine part in our lecture 5. Hydrazine to it, and this is nucleophilic addition followed with elimination. So elimination of water molecule takes place, and we will be getting C double bond N NH2. Remembering, student, that when hydrazine is added, the product is known as hydrazone. But when this hydrazone is further treated with KOH, ethylene glycol, ethylene glycol followed with heating. All the things are very necessary. Then we will be getting the hydrocarbon along with evolution of nitrogen gas. So hydrocarbon is obtained. Hydrocarbon is obtained when hydrazine is treated. Hydrazone is treated with KOH ethylene glycol followed with heating. So first step is formation of hydrazone and the second step is formation of hydrocarbon. This reaction is known as Wolff-Kishner reduction. See one example here, that is we have taken acetaldehyde. Acetaldehyde is ethanol. On treatment with, what is NH2? NH2, it is hydrazine. Water is eliminated here and we get a new term, that is the hydrazone of ethanol. Now on heating with KOH, ethylene glycol and heating, it would be resulting in giving us ethane. So dear students, you can see that the number of carbon in ethanol and the number of carbon in ethane are same. So in order to prepare alkene of the same number of carbon atom, we can use this method. So both these methods are very easy. One is the Clemmensen reduction and the other is the Wolff-Kishner. But if we have to prepare alcohol, then our best method is converting aldehyde or ketone to 1 degree or 2 degree alcohol using NaBH4, LiAlH4, that is LiAlH4, and then catalytic hydrogenation can also be done. So any of these reagents can be used over here. Now let us come to the third heading, that is oxidation of aldehydes and ketones. Many of the times it should be remembered that the formation of product depends on the type of the reagent used. So oxidation of aldehydes and ketones is going to give us different products in presence of different types of oxidizing agent. So first is the case, if we are using the strong oxidizing agents such as HNO3 or KMNO4 or potassium dichromate K2Cr2O7, these type of reagents are used, then aldehydes and ketones are oxidized into carboxylic acid. But remember here that the ketones can undergo this type of reaction only when they are kept at the elevated temperature, that is heating is followed with it. So let us first see what happens in case of aldehyde. So if an aldehyde is treated with a strong oxidizing agent, we can write the name of any of these oxidizing agent over there. Then we will be getting the carboxylic acid. You can see that the carboxylic acid of the same carbon atom, same number of carbon atoms is there. Okay. Now, but if we are taking the ketone, then on oxidation, the ketone is going to give us the mixture of acids, but the total number of carbon will remain same. The acids would be of lesser carbon atom, but the total number of carbon atom in both the mixture, when we calculate it, it will remain the same. Each acid would be of a smaller number. So if we have taken, let us take an example of pentane 3-one. Okay, if we have taken pentane 3-one and then going to oxidize it, we will be getting the two acid CH3COOH, CH3CH2, COOH, one of the acid, and the other one will be of the lesser carbon atom. One will be the propanoic acid and the other will be the ethanoic acid. Propanoic acid, and then it is the ethanoic or the acetic acid. So we will be getting the mixture of acids in this case. Let us take some more examples of this type. If we are not specifying the number of the carbon atoms, okay, then in that case, let us take RCH2, C double bond O, CH2, R dash. Then we have undergone the oxidation of it. It can be possible that the acid belongs to this one or the acid belongs to the other one. Both the probabilities can be there. So R, CH2, COOH plus R dash. The other one is R dash, CH2. So in place of CH2, we will be counting the total number of carbon. If we have taken in the first case CO with the RCH2 part, then in the other case, we have to take this, the smaller one. So RCOOH. But if we have taken, or what happened in this case, The other possibility is R dash CH2 COOH, then the other is going to be the smaller acid. So both the possibilities are there. We can even have the acid from both the alkyl groups, but there is a rule which is followed over here. It is the Popoff's rule. So it is also mainly responsible in explaining how, in the case of the unsymmetrical ketones, the acid or formation takes place. But first about, in case of pentane trione, we will be getting propanoic acid and the ethanoic acid. Now come to the other heading, that is the mild oxidizing agent. Mild oxidizing agents are toluenes, phthalings. We can also use it. NaOH and I2 can also be used over there. Both these reagents are very helpful when we have to detect the aldehydes and ketones. So coming to the mild oxidizing agent, that is the toluenes reagent. So first of all, we must be knowing what is toluenes reagent. Toluenes reagent is ammonical silver nitrate. It is known as ammonical silver nitrate. So actually what happens when aldehyde is treated with ammonical silver nitrate? So let us take an example that if we have taken in a test tube aldehyde, okay, as we used to perform in the lab, if we have taken aldehyde in a test tube, adding a small amount of base to it and then followed with the toluenes reagent, okay, then on heating it in a water bath, we don't directly heat it continuously, heating it in a water bath, what the product we will be getting, then after some time we will be seeing that the test tube is having a silver appearance inside it. A silver appearance is obtained inside the wall, in the inner walls of the test tube in which the mixture is present. If it is aldehyde, only then a silver mirror is obtained in the inner wall of the test tube. Only possible when we have taken the aldehyde, not possible when we have taken the ketone. So aldehyde gives reactions with the toluenes reagent, leading to the formation of silver mirror, but not in case of ketones. So what the reaction here takes place as RCHO, the aldehyde part, react with ammonical silver nitrate. The formula is NH3 whole twice positive, along with a small amount of base with it. We will be getting the product as carboxylate ion along with silver mirror. A precipitate of silver is obtained. This is the silver mirror test, also known as, along with formation of water and ammonia. So this reaction is very helpful when we are distinguishing aldehydes from ketones. In that case, we have to give the reaction in case of aldehyde, but not in case of the ketones. Ketones are not going to give the test as positive test. So this is the toluenes reagent. In chemistry, it is a very important question in our Viva. Now, coming to the Fellings reagent. Fellings reagent is actually a mixture of, Felling A and B. Felling A and Felling B. Felling A is aqueous copper sulfate. But Felling B, what is Felling B? The Felling B is alkaline solution of sodium potassium tartrate. Sodium potassium tartrate, also known as Rochley salt, This is also asked in the Viva. So now what happened in this case? If we have taken aldehyde, in the test tube we have taken aldehyde, okay, and we have added Fellings reagent to it. We were talking about the Felling solution A and B, that is, these both are taken in equal amount. So the mixture of Felling A and B is taken in equal amount, okay, and when this mixture Felling reagent is used, then what we will be getting as a product, the test tube would be having a reddish brown PPT deposition. A PPT is formed other than the liquid part. The PPT is obtained at the bottom of the test tube. This is the red brown PPT. So if a reddish brown PPT is obtained after adding Fellings reagent and the base to the aldehyde, This shows that the organic compound is aldehyde in nature. This reaction is not given by the ketones. So what is the actual reaction over here is, when we have taken RCHO and added the Fehling reagent to it, followed with the hydroxyl ion, what we will be getting here is RCOO negative along with Cu2O, and along with, this is the reddish brown PPT. This is going to be the reddish brown PPT along with the formation of water. So the aldehyde is converted into the carboxylate ion, and the formation of red brown PPT symbolizes that it is aldehyde in nature. But one very important thing here is that the benzaldehyde or aromatic aldehyde, benzaldehyde, or we can write it as aromatic aldehyde, do not respond to this reaction. Do not respond to Fehling's test. Okay, it is not going to respond for the Fehling test. The above reaction also needs to be balanced. It is twice, and the NH3 is total 4 times. So all the reactions, try to balance the reactions also if possible. So these are very important distinguished reaction. While we are doing for aldehyde ketones or in between the two aldehyde, these reactions are very helpful. Now we are on the other heading, that is the oxidation of methyl ketones by using the haloform reaction. It is also a very, very important distinguishing test when we are talking about the methyl aldehydes. This reaction is given only by methyl aldehyde, methyl ketones, or those things which on oxidation can give us methyl aldehyde or methyl ketone. For example, ethanol, which on mild oxidation can give us ethanol, or isopropyl alcohol. It can also give us this test, because this test is given only by methyl aldehyde, methyl ketone, or the substances which can convert, the organic compound which can convert into methyl aldehyde or methyl ketones. So ethanol can give this test, isopropyl alcohol can also give this test. So let us see what the test is all about. So taking an example of a ketone with the methyl part. As soon as we add NaOX, that is sodium hypohalide, to it, this methyl part, the methyl that is attached to the CO part, is converted into CHI3. What is the main thing about CHI3 is, it is the yellow PPT. Remember here, student, that CHI3 is yellow PPT, also known as iodoform. If we have taken X as I, then we will be getting CHI3, that is known as the iodoform. Okay, and what is released along with it? The remaining part, RCOONA. Okay, since we have taken Na, so we will be writing as RCOONA. So in general, we will be getting CHX3. This X can be Cl, Br, or I. So looking at the nature of the PPT formed, the thing can be identified easily that the methyl group is attached to the aldehyde or the ketone part. So let us take one more example of it. We have taken ethanol, the methyl aldehyde. Okay, and we have added NaOH plus I2. This thing can also be written in the paper, or simply we have taken as NaOI. So what happened? The methyl part is converted into the CHI3 part. This is the iodoform. How we can detect it? Because it is forming the yellow PPT. Okay, along with the part which is remaining in the reagent is converted into RCOO, now in this case HCOONA. So these reactions are very, very helpful to identify whether the methyl group is attached to the carbonyl part or not. So iodoform reactions with sodium hypohalide. So we used to call it haloform reaction if we have taken X. So if we have not taken I, then I would be writing it as CHX3. Okay. If I have taken X, then I would be writing it as CHX3. If I have taken I, then I would be writing it as CHI3. The yellow color can easily be detected. So basically, this reaction is used in terms of iodine only, and the product form is known as iodoform. So this is all about our lecture number 6, that is the reduction and oxidation reactions of aldehydes and ketones. So we will be meeting in the other lecture covering the other topic, that is the other important reactions and the alpha hydrogen reactions. Till then, take care, stay healthy.